Good evening, afternoon, Susan.
Maybe the two of us.
Yeah, I haven't, I know Rhonda will be out. She did share that. Vince is usually pretty good at connecting in. Last week he was just tracking the 1 o'clock and we shifted to left 30 minutes.
Right.
But he should be coming on. But let's go ahead and kick this off because I do have a hard stop right before 2 o'clock.
Okay.
So let's kick it off. I'd like to know exactly what's going on in Susan's world.
Well, I'm still paper trading on TradingView. And it's about, I'll do really good. And then all of a sudden, one whole day, I'll just go back crazy backwards.
Yeah.
I lose half of what I've already done, you know.
And what do you think causes that, or what do you think it is?
Still learning.
Yeah.
Still learning. Still
It
learning the candle charts, but I keep watching, you know, the 100, the 200, the VWAP. And I was sitting there watching NASDAQ today, SPY, Qs, everybody. And it kept going down and away from the VWAP and away from the 200 and the 100. It kept going down and kept going down. And then all of a sudden, after I get out, it goes straight up. Goes all the way to the VWAP and past it. And I'm like,
yeah, that was I actually watched that, and I was working on some other things, and I'm like, well, what is it that, you know, is there news? Is there a catalyst? But what?
I mean, I listened to Economic Catalyst because I listened to Danielle Day Martino Booth, who was assistant to Fisher at the Dallas Fed. I listened to several different people, so I know what is coming usually economically. I don't know.
Yeah. I was just like thinking, is there any type of, is volume profiles is strong? There's a,
Well, the volumes were, yeah, the volumes were real sporadic, really. And the bulls were just kind of sitting on their haunches and letting the bears take them down. And then all of a sudden, and it's like the VWAP goes, "Hey boys, I'm back up here. Let's go."
Yeah. The bulls come in and there was
Finally.
no pause anywhere. It just kind of kept going up.
Yeah. And it went against everything, you know. I kept moving my stop down. I kept moving my stop down. I kept moving my stop down. Oh, gee, I finally got out in a positive, but Lord, it was with nothing.
Yeah.
Also, too, Jake, I can't get into GUI, so I've given up on GUI. I mean, 3 trades and it kicked me out again. So I went to I did the GUI. There's also with real life trading a 20,000 deal, and I pulled that up, and that's also GUI. But I don't know how to play it because I can't open up a buy window on it. I'm not sure what it is.
On the GUI, you're not able to?
Yeah, but I haven't got, I mean, it's not like the $100,000 one. There is no way to right click and get an open order.
You want to share your screen? Because that'll be new to me.
I don't know how to. Remember, I'm 72. I don't know. I'm learning all this stuff thanks to you guys. Let's see. And I know it's active because it notifies me every 5 minutes something going on economically. Hear it? It pings me 24/7 whenever I'm on. Let's see, trading, and to this day I'm still not sure exactly. Okay, it's that deal you sent me in.
So Vince, good to see you.
Let me see. I'm gonna go back to that funding deal you sent me. And then I think I get to through the dashboard, not the web.
All right. Hey, Vince, while Susan's bringing that up, yeah, she just got a different account, with the real life trading, and it's like 20,000, but she says she can't.
It's
Uh,
10,000. I thought it was 20. It's 10.
10,000. But while she's bringing that up, what was your highlights this past week, or constraints? What?
Um, Time is the biggest constraint for me. Just finding time to spend. Usually most of my time that I have is going to be in the evening, so I've been trying to watch the things that are running in the evening, the ones that are more of the 24-hour things like Bitcoin, Ethereum, the West Texas oil.
Yeah.
So, uh, but I've got the accounts up and running, and I've been able to put in trades. Uh, I need to get more. Um, I want to be more diligent with keeping track of my trades when I do them, so I remember what went in and that stuff, how much, and all that.
Yeah. Now on the real life trading dashboard, you're aware of that journal that's on there, right? It's kind of a free journal.
Oh, I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, let me bring that up.
Oh, I know how you. What did it say? RLT dashboard. That's what the prompt is. Wow. If I say anything bad, just ignore me.
All right, once you log into your dashboard,
Yeah, I'm pulling up the GUI, but this is
okay.
the $100,000 one. This isn't the 10,000. And I have to play with this thing until I finally find it. It's never quite.
All right, Vince, this real life official trade, well, that's actually the ones that they're trading. Let's see here. Real
I
official
see they
trade.
have a sample.
Oh, go
I
ahead.
see a sample. Oh, I said I see a sample trade
That's
journal. I
it.
don't know if that's
That's it. That's it.
okay.
So you just click on that and you can kind of make a copy. So then it's your own.
Okay, nice.
So you kind of make a copy of that. And it's kind of Google Sheets. But here you go. You can kind of, you've got your, here's your template. We go to the tab for the active trade journal.
Mm-hmm.
So where you could, put in the correct year. What's your risk unit? And it kind of tallies, your
Oh yeah.
average wins and losses. So it's, daily R's, weekly R's, monthly R's. And it's kind of nice because like it's trade number one, today's date, which is like April 8th, it's the 8th, right? Or was it the 9th?
Ninth today.
Let's say the ticker was, we'll just say ES or SPX 500, SPY 500.
Open that curtain open. Thank you.
So let's just kind of hypothetically say we got in above this bear candle right here, above the VWAP, above the 10 and above the 100 when it broke out right there. Stop right here below this kind of hammer candle right there. Just going for a simple 1.2. I'm gonna go ahead and, well, let's keep it on here. So we go to settings right there. That there, put that on that side. And then over here, we want that one there. So what this allows us to do, and Susan, this is very applicable based on when we very first come on the net, especially kind of look at your kind of R stats.
Right.
You know, part of our trading plan, you know, let's say we're grinding away, you know, we're actually positive overall, you know, for a few days in a row. Well, there needs to be, and this is kind of one of the tools that kind of helps us look at that, but you know, do we have a specific R value that we lose in any one given day where we're going to go ahead and unplug the computer, go for a power walk, you know, go stack some hay, you know, and
That's
then
what I was doing. That's what I
yeah,
was doing. I was stacking hay.
yeah, and then again, it even kind of rolls into like the weekly R's, you know, if you win an R but then lose, you know, two a couple days in a row, well, next thing you know, maybe that 4 or that 6 R loss, you know, as you hit the week, you know, again, maybe you turn off the, you know, the real funds and then go back to that paper trading or sim, or you know, even just paper trading within trading view, you know, kind of try to figure out, hey, what's got me out of my zone, you know, out of the flow state. But just a simple journal like this allows us to kind of look at our daily, weekly, monthly R's and make sure that, hey, we're within our trading plan. You know, we want to stay in the game the long haul. So when the market changes, sometimes we don't make the proper adjustments. What has worked so well when things were trending, you know, just didn't quite work as well, or not working quite as well when things are going sideways.
Right.
You know, and
And
then
the other thing is I have to write my trade down and figure it out manually so I don't get in a hurry.
that's not a bad
I
rule. Not a bad rule.
physically use a calculator and force myself to do it.
Not
If I
a
don't,
bad rule.
I lose. So I have every one of them written down. Because, you know, you guys always say, take your time.
Mhm. All right. So this is kind of cool. I hope you're seeing kind of what I'm doing here. So we've got the long tool up here in trading view on the right side. And I don't know if you noticed when this risk was 300, you know, just the default in there, you know, the shares of trade was 41. And I'm like, well, that's not right. However, this long tool right here has a risk of, you know, 100, you know, but if we make this 300, then you can see how that's 41 and that's 41. So it allows you to kind of go in, hey, your original stop, your original entry, and original stop's important because you may trail your stop, you know, later on. But you want that historical reference of, hey, where did I originally put my stop? Because if we recall, you know, our risk amount, you know, divided by the price difference between entry and stop, you know, results in your volume, little lots, or your shares to trade. So, and then you just kind of go across, you know, field price, we'll just say it's the same. The shares filled, we'll just say 41. We got filled, and now it's where's our exit? Did we hit our target? Well, if we hit our target, then we would want to capture that exit price, you know, along with, you know, shares closed. And then what that does for us, you know, our profit loss was 355.06, you know, of a $300 R. So that's your little over 1.2. It was a win. with a 1.18 actually, not greater than 1.2. So it takes a little time, but here's really where you make your money. So then you're still in TradingView right here. When you have this right here, we kind of like set it up a lot of times like over the candle we're entering, which also gives us kind of that time reference. You know, and then you hit target pretty quick. But top right, where you got this camera up here, hit this camera.
Oh yeah.
And then you want to just copy link.
Yeah.
You know, and if you want any notes in here, you know, hey, while it's fresh in your mind, you know, last 2 hours of market open, you know, whatever it is, was there something significant, you know, that you got that. But when you hit this copy link camera, top right, copy link, again, go back over here to your journal and just put that URL in there. You have that forever. You know, so we can go back over here to TradingView and let's just go ahead and delete that. Let's delete that. Let's just go on to something else. Well, you know, at the end of the week, the weekend, you know, what's encouraged is at the end of the week, hey, review your notes, you know, kind of review those slots charts and just take what are maybe your top 2 or 3. You know, what are 1 or 2 things you did well? What are 1 or 2 things that need some improvement? And be intentional about it. And so at the end of the week, maybe you might have quite a few trades. I mean, if you're trading a lot, you know, there'll be a lot to look at. But you only take a couple things you want to sustain and a couple areas you want to focus on. And then at the end of the month, you've actually got a compilation of just 2 to 3 things from each week. So it's not overwhelming to study your craft. You know, you got to take the time to journal it. You got to take the time to copy the URL, but then it's always there. And so then we can come back anytime and just click right on this, you know, come Saturday morning, just start at the top. You just click on that URL and everything's right there. You know, any notes that you wanted to put in there, like this really is a great place to journal. You've got your time. You've got, hey, here's what volume was doing. Here's the time I got in the trade. Here's what, you know, the moving averages were doing at the time. You know, the picture's worth 1,000 words, you know, but there might be some additional comments or notes you want to put on there. But this little, that copy link is very powerful. So that's a great exercise to get into, and it will kind of slow us down too, to where we may not over trade. Because I think many of us, I'm guilty of it. I have to really work on it. Is I can easily over trade, you know. So, but that's right there on that real life trading dashboard. So that would
Well,
be.
let me tell you, the day I lost so much was because I was over trading, because I freaked out and started coming back in here and trading again.
That'll do it. That'll do it.
And the other thing I've been trying to do is use the OCO orders. I lost 1,000 yesterday because trying to figure out how to use them.
Yeah.
I've lost 2,000. I figure out how to use them.
On the OCO.
I mean, it's easy to modify, but I thought I could drag my stop loss up to the entry price and cancel out, but didn't do it.
Yeah, I'd have to.
I'm still learning. I'm losing money trying to learn how to do that.
Well, that's where the you know, even like within TradingView right here, you know, log into this paper trading. You know, this you can reset that all you want. Now, as far as the actual like OCO order, does TradingView have OCO?
Yeah, yeah. You can enable it. can't remember how I did it. But if the little plus sign on the side that goes up and down on your chart, if you click it, click at a price. There you go. You can set them up.
Well, if I wanted to sell, let's see here, because OCOs are, let's see here, I'm gonna do one here. We did a sell there. Okay, there's one order. I still want my take profit. Put that in there. If I
There
wanted
they
to
are.
do a,
Are they linked?
no, they're not. That's kind of where I'm not used to the you know, I don't see anything that says OCO here in Trading View.
I don't know how I got it linked, but I did.
Because these are
There
these
is
are
a place. There's a place to enable it.
all right, I'll have to do a little research on that because these are linked, but this is just a regular bracket order, you know.
Well, that's what I thought was OCO.
Yeah, no, OCO is a little bit different. OCO would be, see, I need to see if it even allows us here. Let's cancel that. An OCO would be like, hey, I'm gonna go up here and I'm gonna buy stop. You know, let's say like right in there. Let's just 18,223. I'm gonna get way up out of there. 18,209. That'll be fun. So buy stop, you know, 1 unit there. And then if I come down here at 18,192, I don't want to do a sell stop. Sell stop 18,192. That's essentially what an OCO would look like. But an OCO actually is they are linked
To see your up
to
and
where
down.
if the price rolls down and triggers this sell stop, this order, when it's triggered, will automatically cancel this order. And that's what one cancels the other means.
Well, when I do the brackets, it does the same thing. What you're calling brackets, like we entered on the panel.
Yeah.
And it comes up, then I can drag and drag my. The only thing I can't drag really is my entry price. I can drag my profit, my loss up or down.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll have to talk offline on that because that's a bracket order is one thing, and OCO is a whole different thing. So
are you using OCO orders for futures?
no,
I
I just use bracket orders. I use an entry with a kind of a protective. You know, I take profit and a stop loss, but I do not actually use the OCOs.
Okay.
I got to figure out how to close this out now.
That's my problem. I thought I was supposed to click on the X.
It does, but it's kind of grayed out right now, so I've got it. It's just kind of locked up right now. So
What if you right click it?
there we go. Yeah, we just kind of grayed out. So, and the stop loss was selected here, but we got her out there. But yeah, one cancels the other is designed to where you could play. You know, if there's some accumulation, consolidation. You know, if it breaks, you know, indecision candle, if it breaks up, that order will be filled. It'll automatically cancel the other one. Because legally you cannot, and most prop firms especially, they'll ban you, but you cannot actually be in a trade going one way and at the same time going the other way. That actually is strictly regulated, but an OCO prevents that because when one gets filled, the other is automatically canceled.
Right. Well, even in the brackets, I can't move my stop past my entry price.
No, no,
It'll cancel
that
it
is
out.
true. That is true. That is absolutely true. Yeah.
That's where I lost 1,000 today.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense, because if we go, let's see here. I got paper trading. So I wouldn't mind getting into a trade here. So we'll do a sell, stop, we'll do a small take profit.
Which symbol you on?
This is the NASDAQ NQs.
100?
Yeah,
100.
yeah. I don't know where my stop order.
It's just going sideways right now after that big
Sure
run
is.
up and
Yep. Yep.
slow inching its way down. I wish I'd been in on that second here going up.
Yeah, so unless we got filled in the order, see, we can kind of still drag this until it gets filled. We can drag our order around.
Yeah. Oh, I always put in the stop, the profit, and everything,
Well, it is.
like you had it the first time.
Yeah, it's there. Once the actual order gets triggered, then the take profit along with the stop loss, they'll populate. So they're there.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah.
Would you please go back over to, and then I'll shut so Vince can talk. Most everybody's trading with a limit rather than a stop. Why? To
Um,
grab the current price?
no, limit is because by default, if you close out of this one here, I don't think they are. And what I mean by that is if we're going to do like a buy limit, that means current price again is 18,200. I only want to get in if price comes down to my buy limit. Therefore, what that means is like 18,163. I'll just put that in there. So if I got a buy limit and current price is actually up at 18,200, but I don't want to get in up here. I want to get in down here when it kind of bounces off the 200,
Okay.
somewhere in between. Then I would do a buy limit.
Okay. A stop is an exact price.
So you see, if when price comes down here, and only if price comes back down, will it trigger this order?
Okay.
Okay. A buy stop is, if I do a buy stop, means I expect price to go up, and I only want to get filled if current price lower than where I want to get filled at. So again, price is at 18,200, but I want price to go up before I get filled. So that's the difference between a buy stop and a buy limit.
Okay.
So a buy stop is like where we get in above these bear candles closing above the 10 EMA. Current price is lower at the moment. Current price is lower than our planned price. If and only if price comes back up above this bear candle, will we get triggered? Maybe price is going to roll over and we'll never get triggered, but we're long. Whenever we're buying a limit, buy stop, we're long. We expect price just to continue going up. If it's a buy limit, we expect price to continue down before it bounces and goes back up. And I think what's a little confusing is whenever you like right click and trade. Okay, notice how this has a sell limit buy stop. Okay, so if I click above the candle, I've got a default is sell limit buy stop. because current price is lower than where my cursor is, where I'm like saying, hey, TradingView, I might want to enter up in this area. If I do it down below and trade, you see how I get the buy limit, sell stop. So just by virtue of where we put our cursor, when we right click to enter a trade, it will give us the limit and the stop. But the buy limit, because if we're long, it has to come down to where we're clicking on the screen.
Okay.
And if we're going to go short, well, then because we're below current price, then it's giving us a stop. You know, it's just intuitive based on where I'm clicking on the screen. So again, sell limit, expect price to come up if I'm going to go short, or I'm going to do a buy stop, you know, if I click above. So it's very intuitive, and most platforms kind of do work that way. I've seen that like in MetaTrader 5 and obviously in TraderView, but just depending on where you click on your screen, you know, that default limit order might come up. But it's just kind of intuitive of, because when you click on the screen somewhere, you're basically kind of sending a command.
Right.
Here's like create new order. So we didn't even get it. Yeah, we got so a little different things going on there. Right click, trade. Yeah. So I hope that helps. Does that help, Vince? That
Yeah.
right.
Is there a button to turn the volume back on? My volume came off of TradingView.
Volume came off at TradingView.
Yeah, I couldn't find the button. I assume it's just a button to click. All those
Can you
bars
put
down
it in?
below are gone.
Can you get it out of indicators?
Not sure.
That's a great question. I've never
I'll look.
yeah, I've never
Yeah.
actually dealt with volume like specific to TradingView, darn it.
It's on favored indicators.
Okay.
Because I lost it too.
I was thinking volume as far as sound. I'm sorry. Good grief. Yeah, I was looking for like the sound that turned off on your TradingView. I'm sorry, Vince. Wow.
That's all right.
Yeah, as far as volume, just yeah, you go into indicators here, and if you don't have it in your favorites, you know, really just type in volume and just scroll down to the one that says volume right here.
Okay.
Add that back in there, and then as far as the settings go, you know, your inputs. I use a moving average of 14, and then colors based on previous close. But you know, if it's growing, you know, it's green. If it's falling, it's red. But this is kind of
Yeah.
an up down volume more than anything. And then I went ahead and made the opacity 100%, you know, just to give them that bright colors right there.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
Okay.
right there in your indicators.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was looking for a sound like your alerts and sounds and stuff coming out. Wow. All right. I think I want to kind of hit here.
Were you looking to actually go short on this that you got up right now or not?
This one here, I would probably go short before I go long.
Yeah.
At least, and I'd be sensitive again because we're just so extended away from all these moving averages and the VWAP.
Yeah.
This was a big move, and here's some of the things we're kind of looking at on these indices. But you know, this price here, this price here, this price here, so there's a lot of resistance right in there.
Yep.
You know, so Now, that's where it kind of gets a little tricky because again, overall trend is still bullish. And a nice little bounce, again, that's another thing to look at, but a nice little bounce off this 50 moving average. But we've got multiple days in a row where we're kind of struggling to get out there, but we did breach previous day's high here. But it's kind of hard to really say because this could just go sideways the rest of the afternoon while the moving averages and stuff kind of ascend and they kind of come back together, later this evening before the London market opens, or Australia when things start getting pretty busy again, around 6-7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, they get pretty busy again. No, around midnight, 2 in the morning, they get busy again. But yeah, and even when we start looking at some of the other tools out there, I mean, this is a pretty big move, and so just a 50% retracement right here brings it right back to this high right here. So I believe we're going to be bearish short term, and it definitely could continue up. But yeah, this 50-60%, and then by the time price action would come to this area, well, now your 100, your 200 and stuff are already kind of moved up in there also. So then there's that coming together of the moving averages that kind of works out. But this is that Fibonacci tool, and kind of slap it on, towards the bottom and drag it up, and this becomes pretty key area, to expect, a retest, and it happens to 50% happens to come right down to this area, and 60% is just, you look at this support right through here, right on the 60% line, and right between 50 and 60 is where it acted right there. Some other things to look at, again, just kind of, this was, and this becomes, when we start looking at these indices and stuff, and what's significant. So here's the high, and it's actually right at 5:30 in the morning when the market opened. This is Eastern Standard Time, 9:30. So we've got our kind of Globex market yesterday afternoon, and then again at 02:45 in the morning, Eastern my time, which is actually like 4:15 in the morning. Things got pretty busy. And that's when you have an overlapping of those markets, and things kind of took off, went past the previous day's high, but the high from 2 days ago, that's kind of significant. So that's remember, see here, gotta make sure we got the right groups, but prior to going over to GUI, we with the 10 EMA strategy, we're always plotting what is that previous day's high, previous day's low. And it's as applicable today, even with an index, as it is with Tesla, or NVIDIA. And so coming in and just, like these lines right here, previous day's high, that is very significant. And the market this morning kind of went right up through it, but that's a pump fake, meaning there's a lot of folks that got trapped right up in here. And so one of the most significant strategies that we want to kind of start understanding or fine tuning is where is my resistance at from previous day, and if because previous day come up and kind of almost retested this day, but we went right through previous day here. But that is the way these futures, these indices, they move. They'll come up, but how many times is this a pump fake? This is where people get trapped. And that's where we start plotting previous day's high or low. So even if we had plotted this one over here, still treating it the same. This is a price area. We went right past yesterday's high, but Friday's high was right up in here. So again, we're going to kind of respect that. Well, very interesting today to see it kind of just blast up and look how all it is coming up and retesting that opening high this morning. Slightly higher, little wick right there, but that's fairly normal, with these indices and futures. So as far as how do we plan for and trade these, and I believe it's going to be the same like on oil and a lot of these others, but we're going to come in and we're going to plot, like here's around 5 in the morning. So the first thing I'm doing is kind of plotting my my previous day's high, my resistance areas. And then I'm also going to come down here and I want to plot. So actually, like I got that 50 simple moving average from the daily, I got it plotted on there because it's applicable. But I kind of want to look left. I want to see what was previous day's low. And then what are some other key areas where there's a lot of activity. And again, make these candles right. Let's see here. I mean, really just kind of down in there. But where we want to keep our eye on is, because we have this information right here. This is this morning at 06:45, an hour and 15 minutes after the market opens. The low of today was established, and that's where we're kind of looking left. Okay, we did take out yesterday's low. So a little cautious here. In other words, I'm not going to be shorting down in this area, unless I really get some good, a retest of the 10 EMA, some solid consolidation, and then maybe just volume even really falls off as prices going up, then I might be expected, another rollover. But very cautious again to just short once you have to make a new low, to short, or to even up in here to make a new high, we're not going to go long. We're kind of bound to this range now. And that's the thing with futures and these indices is usually within about the first hour, when the market opens, give or take a few minutes, you can identify that range. And the upper limit of today's range was actually the high from last Friday. And we just barely breached yesterday's high. But Monday, you can just kind of look at the highs and the lows was much lower than the highs and the lows from Friday. So what does this tell us? This is an inside day candle. And those are tough to trade. That is one reason where, even with the 10 EMA, we talked about, hey, plot the previous day's high and low. And a good rule is to not trade it unless that previous day's high or low has been breached. It's same thing here with these indices. Yesterday was just absolutely tough, unless you got a strategy, and you're trading, maybe on a range type, candle pattern versus just regular candlesticks. The strategies that we're working on here do not work. We need trend of some sort. And then Monday afternoon, midnight rolls around. Well, what happens first thing this morning? Even right before the US market opens, we did take out yesterday's high. And we even took out Friday's high. So game on. Meaning here's where conditions met to kind of trade. Of course, there's a 15-minute time frame. Let's jump back on the 3. But beautiful opportunities to get in anywhere below here, anywhere below, these bull candles closing below the 10 EMA. And if it bounces off the 100 and kind of continues up, you're not triggered in. But if we did get in, put our, even our stop up above the high of the day, and take profit even at 1.2. I mean, that was easily achieved. It's like almost a two, over a 2R trade, just by understanding. It's like, oh, wait a minute here. I come up and retested, well, I breached previous day's high and even took out that high from Friday. And things, so it seems kind of bullish, but that doesn't necessarily mean, that's where we're kind of going back to the daily time frame. So here's that inside day that we looked at on Monday. And here's where we took out, just barely took out this wick from Friday. But game on, once it kind of comes up. Well, comes up early because price actually opened here yesterday, in the evening. But when the US market opened this morning, it basically was already up in this area, and this wick is what kind of come up. And that's where we took out this wick here, and then things just kind of rolled right back down. We come all the way down to nearly to the 50 SMA, again on the smaller time frame. And then this is where the bulls kind of come back in and took it back up there. See if we can play that out again, because this is it in a nutshell. So got to realize the candle opened here. Daily on the left. Over here on the right, we're on a 3-minute time frame. We're just going to kind of look how it, see if we can kind of fill in the gaps here. So we know over here, let's see here, this is, oh, market's close now. Okay, so here is yesterday's candle, because the market's actually closed right now. We don't have any, and it's just between 12 more minutes it'll open up. But here's what's kind of cool. If you look at, you can kind of see this dotted line over here as I kind of move. Well, here's where price opened. You see at the bottom of this, the body of this candle right here, that's where it opened, and it just kind of goes down a little bit, sideways, kind of down in that wick. The bears are kind of coming in, the bulls kind of come back in, here come the bears. And so the wick is it opened here, but we're kind of working on that wick. Well, then at 5:30, or when the markets opened this morning, that's when we come all the way up here. In other words, we're messing down in this below the body, below it's open from yesterday for a large portion of the middle of the night. And there's this big, all the bulls kind of come in. And then there's just this, right above this closing is where this wick is. And then it just rolls all the way back down. And this is where we get the low of the day. So this is the bottom of the wick. This is where the bears kind of came in. But then the bulls kind of came back in and pushed everything back up. There's almost back up to the opening price right in here. It got rejected. It kind of come back down again. And then here come the bulls one more time, all the way back up, past where the candle opened, all the way back up, retested that previous high of the same day. That same wick was tested again, and then it closed right here, just at the top of the body of the top of this. So we got a nice, beautiful hammer candle right now to kind of play with over the next 24 hours. But this was an inside day candle. But this morning, US market, when it kind of opened, it kind of took out this wick and this high here. That's what kind of give a little bit of sentiment. A little easier to trade today than yesterday, just for that reason. Any questions on any of that? Because That's extremely valuable as far as, you know, 10 EMA, US equity, dealing with an indice or a futures. And it doesn't matter. Let's even look at the gold. I'm sorry, the oil. So inside day to day, but when we start looking at price opened here, okay, there's your wick on your daily time frame, kind of comes up there and then kind of goes sideways, comes back up, kind of retests that previous day's high. Oh, I'm sorry, the high from earlier in the day, and then things just kind of continue kind of chopping with a bearish sentiment, and it kind of falls right over here. And then there's a little wick you see right here is the actual low of the day. It really doesn't recover and just kind of goes a little bit higher but sideways until the market closed right here. So what can we learn from that? And again, it's just the idea, you know, it doesn't matter if it's oil or gold or Forex. A lot of the same concepts do apply. You know, here's Tuesday. So we're middle of the night here. I mean, that's tough to read. We're below VWAP, 10 EMA, you know, up and down, crossing over the 100. No real clear trend. I mean, 10 is staying below the 100, so there's some opportunities to kind of get in there, but you got to be pretty sensitive to. And there's a lot of touch points here, here. So we just kind of look left, and especially we're below VWAP, below 100, below 10, below 200. It's probably not going to stay below them all too long. But anyway, this is the middle of the night, pretty choppy. Market opens up around 5:30. Again, a lot of indecision. However, VWAP 200 are kind of trending down. We keep getting these high wave, these wicks are somewhat bearish. Bulls are coming in, kind of pushing things down with 100 EMA actually pointing down. 10 EMA is below the 100, VWAP and 200. So there's a lot of bearish sentiment, from prior to the market opening, clear up until around 30 minutes after the market opens, and then that kind of puts us right in here. Well, here you got your first clear break in oil away from this support that's kind of held it up here. So you could look at saying, hey, I could trap some bulls by getting in here, and then when you observe this rejection right here, that's really your trigger. Conditions met to go ahead and go short on oil right there. This indecision or high wave rejection at the 10 EMA, followed by this bear candle, that's the kind of stuff we want to look for. A lot of sideways here, kind of tough. I mean, there are strategies to trade that. But when we finally clear all this, we got this spreading out of these moving averages. This is really what we're looking for. Things aren't just going sideways, all intertwined anymore. We got kind of a clear fanning, the 200 from the 100 to the 10, even the VWAP. There's just that spreading out of the moving averages all pointing in the same direction. That's when we know we have trend. At least for a moment. And look in indecision here, bull candle closing below the 10. This is the stuff we're kind of looking for. When we see these indecision candles and these wicks getting rejected from the 10, that's just a very strong confirmation that we're continuing down. So then you kind of look at your oil, not even look at getting in, above this indecision. Once I kind of see that, probably want to make sure that there's some bears come in and take out the bottom half of that indecision candle. That'd be my only other criteria. And then there's a 2R play right there. And it comes down and kind of, you got some, this is where I like it. So you kind of got a nice, things kind of tend to look like they're going to go bullish on us. So price is actually kind of increasing slightly, but this volume is actually going down. And that's something you really want to kind of keep your eye on, because it's just kind of resting. There's not a lot of excitement from the bulls, even though price is kind of going up and holding up right in this area, but there's not a lot of excitement from the bulls. So they're kind of tired. So it's more of a kind of a resting and accumulation, and then the trend continues. This would be another way to look at. You know, if I've got kind of a downtrend there, well, this is kind of straight across. We're just kind of looking for these different patterns. So everything's coming down. It's the bears are in control. There's a lot of selling pressure. Things kind of tend to go back up. Accumulation, but this volume where it's decreasing, don't have much confidence that we got reversal taking place here. We're just kind of waiting for that consolidation to kind of be done and see what happens next. All right, any go backs? I have to switch gears real quick. I've got a hard stop here at 2 o'clock and be dialed in here in 2 minutes. But any final comments or questions?
I'll have to get better at looking at my candle,
Yeah, absolutely.
because I keep looking at the trends more than I do the candle.
Yeah, don't forget the importance of those larger time frames. You know, that daily and even your 15-minute. You know, because that's going to give us more insight of overall trend and what's going on. Than if we just zero in on that 3 or 5 minute, it's easy to lose sight. So
My entire chart is blue lines from going back months, highs and lows. Turn around.
all right, I will get this video processed and dropped into our group. But big key takeaways is let's make sure we're not forgetting the value of previous days highs and lows. Those are key areas of resistance. And many times if we go right through a previous day's high and then we like retest it and it continues up, many times you actually gonna have a strong trend that day. And that's the same even on the downside. But if it comes up and then gets rejected, then you got to realize, hey, you're going to be looking at opportunities probably within the highs and the lows of the previous day or even that day. Our range for today was established right here. And those are key takeaways. And that's applicable across your gold, your Ethereum, your oil. Look at those Globex highs. Treat those as your previous day's highs and lows. So, all right, I got to drop. Appreciate y'all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You bet.